Mr. Reagan is a conservative YouTuber that I like, actually. I like a lot of his content. His AOC takedown was magnificent. He tied her with Justice Democrats and all that other fun stuff. In his latest upload, it's right here on the screen. The problem with black culture. I am endlessly fascinated with people who are, not even black culture adjacent. I'm fascinated with their ideas and their perceptions. Not to say that they can't have them. No. By all means, you can think about whatever the hell you want. But I believe that the angle in which they approach it is one of just not a lot of intimate knowledge or detail. Now, I could be perfectly wrong. Mr. Reagan here could have been raised by, the blackest of black families in the projects in Detroit, but chances are, no, not really. So this is apparently a series that he's going to be doing, and when he does one for the black male, I'll definitely be looking at that one as well. But this one, he's focusing on the strong black woman, or the strong independent black woman, and so what he uses as the base. I'm not using his entire video because it's over half an hour long. We don't have that kind of time as far as the way I record and make these videos. So we're definitely picking up near the tail end where he starts to talk about his solutions. Hey, you want to guess what his solutions is? I'm pretty sure you could guess what his solutions is. But either ways, he as his base, he used Erica Thomas situation, which we covered here on the channel already. Go check those out. And he also brought up a TEDx where there was a woman, a young black woman, a middle-aged black woman who was complaining about how people perceived her. And now he's just at a part where he's talking about, media portrayals of teachers, and he juxtaposes the character from How to Get Away with Murder, what's her name? Viola Davis's character with Robin Williams in, I think, Dead Poets Society. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that movie's Dead Poets Society. So he's speaking on, the portrayal of black women in media and the role that plays and everything else like that. Yet I can't help but feel like there's so much that he's not touching. And in the beginning of his video, he speaks on how, when Caucasians speak on black culture, they get silenced for the most part, or it's just called racism. And I don't believe that should be the case at all. You can have your opinion and you can share your opinion. We can disagree, and I can have more content for my channel. So that's why we are where we are. Let's get into where we're at with this.
Why not show the strong black woman character as inspirational? Why show her as angry?
Yeah, the Viola Davis character just got finished cutting down a student in the class that she was teaching. So that's where we're at. I just want to cue everybody up.
No reason. The earliest instance of this that I could think of is the song Respect by Aretha Franklin. At that point, the message was pretty tame, and I would say reasonable. But then things got crazy. By the time Beyonce released Independent Woman, the idea had been fouled up beyond all recognition.
So, okay, first and foremost, I think that was Destiny's Child as a group. It wasn't just Beyonce, sir. And he claims to know black culture. I'm joking. And the Respect song, I think, was produced in the 70s. And one of the things that happened in black culture after the 60s is that, we've created this matriarchal, we've completely made our communities matriarchal in nature. The man, for the most part, the black man, was cast aside. Now, one of the ways you can tell most easily, and it's rather interesting that I have Beyonce's face right here, is through the hair. Now, back in the 60s, 50s and 60s, all the way to the mid-70s or so, sisters would rock the fro because the man was in charge of the community. But once the real kicking in of the no man in the house rules and the drug war, they really started to take over within these communities. the Caucasian or the feminist mindset really took place, and they started looking more like their Caucasian counterparts, as opposed to the way black men tried to have them naturally in their natural state. So this is generations of manipulation and just being told that, hey, you can do no wrong, you can say no wrong, and the infantilization of the black community. And they had to infantilize the black community in order to create the matriarchal rule that persists there to this very moment. Like, yeah, you can have a male mayor. Just because the guy has a penis doesn't particularly mean that he is a man, or a black man particularly, in his right mind. And that's something that gets glossed over quite a bit.
But at the end of the day, this does not hurt society as much as it hurts the insufferable, strong black woman herself.
And her children. See, one of the things that he goes into, and I kind of skipped over on this part as well, is the role that she has with her children and how she tries to dictate that society give her the same reverence as she demands from her children, which is a very poignant point that he makes in his assessment.
How can anyone function in society, much less thrive, if they're acting like a lunatic with every perceived impertinence? You can't. I once got a call from a DoorDash delivery woman. The woman asked if I lived at a department store that she was next to. She had driven up to a department store. And I said, no, I live in an apartment building, and I gave her my address again. And she said, yeah, okay, that's the address that she had, but she couldn't see my apartment building. So she asked if I would come down to street level. Now, ordinarily, I would. I pay extra, actually, for people to come to my door on all these apps, but sometimes it's hard for them, so I come down. But on this particular day, I was on an important call, and I told the woman, I'm sorry, but I really couldn't come down, and that she'd have to use her GPS to work out how to get to my apartment. I told her that I really had to switch back to the other call. I didn't have time to talk this through, and that she'd have to figure it out herself. And as I was switching back to the other call, I heard her say, and I'm not kidding, hell no.
Well, I mean, it could have been, oh, no, he didn't, or any of the other stereotypical phrases that have been permeated throughout the culture. But I'll let that entire story rock for a reason, because I can't help but feel like this is where he gets most of his interactions with quote unquote black culture. So come on, I'm giving him a pass.
It was just like a movie. It was hilarious. Hell no. Yeah. Hell no. How dare I ask a woman to do the job I was paying her for? But
that's the thing. Most of these women, because it is the inconvenience. It is the attitude that, my crap don't stink. And so what if you are in a position to pay me, if you're asking me to do something, still, no matter what, I am a queen, right? That's the black queen mentality. Even though she's sitting there going door to door, dropping off people's food. Yeah, that's a queen, bruh. She is a queen, and she is to be treated with the utmost respect and the most regality. How dare you, sir?
There was this idea in her mind, I suppose, that the person that she was doing the job for needed to accommodate her. She was too important to have to accommodate the person she was hired by, me. But that's your job. Whenever I encounter somebody in a service job with a really bad attitude, I always think, why are you doing this job? There are tons of jobs in the world, all kinds of different kinds of jobs. Just find a different job.
Well, that's the thing about low-income workers, sir. Trust me, DoorDash is going to be automated in a second, too. The reason it's easy work is because it's easy. And you can train a monkey, or you can train a car eventually, after Google gets that right. You'll be able to train a car to just drop the stuff off for you anyway. So that's why.
If you hate people, don't get a job serving people.
But that's the thing. When you come from low-income communities and you make terrible life choices, which, if you're sitting there doing DoorDash, you didn't make the greatest of them. But, a job's a job. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to job shame anybody, because a job is a job. But let's be real. If you were making $100,000 doing something else, you wouldn't have to do the whole DoorDash thing, right? So, let's be legitimate about this. But yeah, that's really like the terrible customer service and the terrible work ethic. See, these are issues that are to be solved in the home as the child is coming up. A lot of people don't really understand that. Like those first few years of a child's life are so informative that if that child is going to have a strong work ethic, look to do a good job, look to go above and beyond, that's really where the foundation is set within the home. Yet we have a society that thinks that the government can replace the fathers and replace, that type of guidance and expect everything to work out. And we are witnessing that it can't work out that way.
I used to be a waiter for a catering company, and I performed every job with as much precision and elegance as I possibly could. I tried to be gracious and charming with everybody that I served, and in fact, I've done tons of service jobs, and I've done this with every single service job I've ever done. When I was 15, I even worked at Burger King, and I even did it there. Because that's your job. You're being paid to interact with people in a positive way.
But that's the difference between being taught and being set with a foundation of a strong work ethic, that whereas you can take pride in whatever type of job you do, as opposed to, being from the communities a lot of these sisters come from, where it's like, oh no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what you can do, and you're just there for the money. You're not really there because you wanna, you wanna be delivering this food or doing the job in and of itself. And you tie that with the woman's natural, hypergamy and just house cat type instincts, and thusly you have the attitudes that you get when it comes to them performing their jobs, be it service industry or really any position.
Even in jobs that are not service oriented, if you're not going to allow anybody to disrespect you in any way ever, real or imagined, well, then you're going to have a heck of a time keeping any job. You just
89% of the disrespect that black women tend to internalize, it is imagined. All right, there's a lot of neuroses going on up there, a lot of psychological damage that actually does date back all the way to slavery, because it gets tossed down from generation to generation.
Treat your boss like crap every time he criticizes you. You're gonna get fired. Sometimes it's best to just be a little humble. A little humility goes a long way. So how do we shift?
He's right. That's why I'm humble. I'm the most humble person ever. You couldn't out humble my humble if you were a literal humble pie, okay?
Black culture away from encouraging women from being insufferable, strong black women.
So here's my answer, and that is to restore the nuclear family and restore that balance, restore that natural balance. Get rid of a lot of these laws, particularly the drug laws, and we got to clean up the family courts, because we have to set the stage, set the foundation for the return of the nuclear family, and having those people being raised in communities and households full of love and respect. That's really the only way. But I'm pretty sure you can guess what his answer is.
I talked about this a lot with people before writing the script for this video, and the conclusion I came to was this problem stems from a lack of self-confidence. It's an inferiority issue, similar.
Oh, wow. Something that fathers tend to instill in their sons and teach to their daughters. I'll be darned.
To the Napoleon complex. There's a stereotype about short men that they tend to be angry and aggressive in order to make up for their small stature.
Why is it okay for women to say, oh, you're 5 feet on dating sites? You should be dead? That's okay?
Who said that to you here? Nobody.
Women in general have said it on dating sites. You think I'm making that shit up? Everywhere I go, I get the same smirk with the biting lip. Shut your mouth. You're not God or my father or my boss. Dude, you want to step outside? You want to step outside? Huh? I'm not scared.
Okay, so I never really spoke on this situation, but I feel really bad for that guy, because he's like 4'11". He's not it's not like he's like 5'6" or 5'7". He's like 4'11". So if anybody has my empathy, it's definitely this dude.
I know. You shut up too. Just like a up. Go ahead and attack me,
And you know what? Seeing how I didn't speak on that, why? Like he did absolutely nothing to deserve to be taken down like that. He was just venting. You let him vent. You let him get it out, man. Instead of sitting there and want to be a white knight and stuff, man. I'm not a fan of the guy in the blue shirt.
Now, as hilarious as this clip is, the little man's fury is erupting from a very serious insecurity of his height. If this guy genuinely had confidence, genuinely believed that he was awesome, he would probably never act like this in his adult life. He's running around in a perpetual state of frustration over his perceived inequity. But he just needs to accept it. You're short, buddy. It's cool. There are much worse things to be than short. And you know what? There are some really hot short girls out there. Go lift some weights, get a better attitude, maybe get a nose job, and get yourself a hot short girl. And be happy. And I think that maybe the strong black woman suffers from the same sort of thing. I think that many of these kinds of
Yeah, no, we're not playing that game over here. They're champ. Like this is not due to, if anything, they've been boosted way beyond. You know, I mean, the short guy, he gets knocked down a peg every single time he steps out the door. But her, she spends nothing but her young fertile years getting boosted up, and then her older years after she has, like, I mean, in most cases, hold on, hashtag not all, of course, but in a lot of cases, she spends the rest of the years like real angry about the choices she made in the first few years, because now she got a couple of deadbeat baby daddies and she got to work her ass off all the damn time, you know? Like in black culture, the women are not geared to be, are not raised to be feminine wives or anything else like that. What they are raised is to be the strong, independent individuals that you see today. So that's why the culture in and of itself is completely jacked up.
Irrational forms of anger come from perceived inequity. There is this idea that the world has dealt them a poor hand for whatever reason, and
it's not for whatever reason. See, the government has sat there and backed them up. Like if you want to sit here talk about media, we could talk about Waiting to Exhale. We could talk about how Stella got her groove back. We could sit here talk about all these different, Oprah's entire show, just making it out to seem as if the big, like, oh my goodness, the black woman just has to escape the big black man. Oh my goodness, the black woman just has to escape the big black man. And they've been taught this. They've been indoctrinized and marinated in this mentality that they are better than the men. So thusly, and they are equal to the men, and they can do everything that the men can do. So hey, that's how you end up with your DoorDash driver being so stereotypical.
They're taking what's owed to them in the form of absolute respect. But no one's going to give the respect of an empress to a random black lady working at the post office. I imagine that most people will give you the same respect that they give to everybody else, but it's unreasonable to demand more. You're just a person.
And it's unreasonable to expect that lady at the post office is going to give you that same general respect. I mean, that baseline of respect is something that ebbs and flows between each and every individual person. And odds are is that she will not meet your flow with an ebb if she's having a bad day, because professionalism isn't particularly her strong suit. Like professionalism and just doing your job regardless of what's taking place in your personal life that's not it.
Like the rest of us. The strong black woman seems to demand respect simply because she's a black woman. And that doesn't tend to inspire respect in most other people. So what does inspire respect in people? Well, I'll tell you. Being an awesome person. Being kind. Being charming. Being fun. Smart. Humble. Being fashionable.
He's right. I'm not even going to, I've actually caught crap for this in the comment section where I'm like, hey, just be nice and you'll be surprised where it can get you. And I've had people argue with me. What do you mean? White supremacy don't care if you nice? Like bruh. Like, take it easy. Like, yeah, I get white supremacy, but maybe just do it for you. Maybe be nice so, you can earn your own karma points. But nah, that ain't working over there.
The extra mile to help somebody, going out of your way to make a stranger happy. Instead of taking pride in being a strong black woman, take pride in being a good person. Instead of demanding respect from everyone, give respect to everyone. And I guarantee you will get all the respect that you want in return.
You realize that if you are actually speaking to a black woman in this scenario, she just took everything that you said as just the ultimate disrespect. How dare you demand anything of her, sir? Just so you know.
But it takes a lot to be awesome. It takes a lot to be kind, to be charming, fun, smart, and humble. It takes confidence. It takes a positive sense of self-worth. So how do we give these black women their confidence? Not strong black woman confidence, but real confidence. Confidence to go out in the world and not feel like they have to be angry all the time.
Give them their fathers. Create a time machine, go back in time, have them be raised by their fathers to show them what true, have them be raised in the nuclear family home with both the mother and the father there to show them how both sides are supposed to complement each other and work with each other. And then, just then, you might have a shot. But something tells me that his answer is about to be something. Well, it's not something. I already watched the damn video. But his answer is something that we've heard 1,003 times before. Let's go.
Well, I think it comes down to education.
Told you. Whoa, well, I didn't say it. I didn't want to spoil the surprise, but it's always education. It's always education. And this guy, let's let him go a little bit longer.
First of all, we need to privatize the school system.
Yep, see? And charter schools. That's exactly what he's talking about. Privatize the school system. Charter schools. He's talking about charter schools. At the end of the day, he just wants to press school privatization and school choice. And the deal is that, you know what? Stop. If schools want to be private, let them be private like they were in the 90s and the 80s, where it was private funds and tuition bills pushing those schools forward. Not this whole, let's take public funding to and give to schools, because as we watch at school after school after school fail miserably, be nothing more than just a pyramid scheme for the most part. I'm sorry, but your school privatization idea blows and sucks at the same time. You are wrong, Mr. Reagan. The only thing that can fix these communities and fix the people within these communities is reforming the family court laws, doing something about this child support thing, and actually encouraging the nuclear family to live and thrive. And that's one of the more disappointing areas of his argument, because he's a conservative. I assume he's about traditionalism, but yet Trump, all of them happily ignore the traditionalism that would start to get us back towards a place of sanity as opposed to all this nuttiness. So with that being said, I've covered everything in this video that I want to cover, all the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube's definitely not going to do it. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Do you have any ideas for how to fix black culture? I look forward to Mr. Reagan's here. One apparently on black guys. I'm not sure. Pretty sure it'll end up in talking about privatization and charter schools again. But either ways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until the next one.